Hello and welcome to another video of Vivek Learns. So in this video we are going to start solving some of the pattern problems that we have in level 1 pep coding. So without wasting any time, let's get started. So the first pattern that we have is something like this. So we are given a number n and we have to create a pattern of stars shown like this, right? So what will be the logic for this? Let's discuss that. So suppose we get a number, let's say 3. Then the pattern that we are expected to print is star, then star, star, then star, 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 right? And if we are given the number 4, then we have to print the pattern like this. So how will we approach this problem? So there are two solutions or approaches that I'm going to discuss here. So the first one is by having some kind of a matrix and then having conditions around that matrix. And the second one is by observing the pattern, we have to derive some conditions. So first, let's start with the matrix one. So suppose we have the number 4. So what we do first is we print a square which is 4 by 4 with all stars filled inside. So we get star, star, star. We have the number 4, right? Yep. Then again, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And how do we print this? So we can print this using a double for loop, right? Let me show you how. Let me create a new package here. And let me take a number as input. Then what we can do is we can iterate from that number. We have to capture that number first and num. Yep. So what we can do is that if we just have this for loop, so what it will print, and if we have something like this, so what it will print? It will print stars. From where? How many stars will it print? So it will print num number of stars, right? Like we are starting from 0 and we are stopping 1 less than num. So it will print stars in a vertical fashion. If you want to see, we can run this and check. So if we want 5 stars, we get 5 stars. But what do we want? We want those stars in a horizontal fashion. So what we do is we need them in a horizontal fashion, right? So let me run it again. We get 5 stars in a horizontal pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? But now what we want? We want the stars printed both in horizontal as well as vertical. So what we do is that we get another for loop here, right? Which will print from 0 to num. And then we do something like system.out.println. So what this will do is that it will print this inner for loop. It will print from 0 to 1 less than m times, right? So it will print 5 stars if we give 5 horizontally. Then what will happen is that we'll come uh, one line below this again. Then we'll start printing this for loop again. And will continue till num minus 1 times because we are starting from 0, right? So let's try to print this and hopefully we get a square this time. Yep, so we got a square which is filled in with stars. Okay, so how do we print this pattern that we have, right? So what we can do is that we can have numbers for each of the star. Let's suppose this is I comma j. I'll start from I comma j. So it is 0 comma 0. And if we go horizontally, I increases. If we go vertically, j increases. So this is 0 comma 0. This is 0 comma 1. This is 0 comma 2. This is 0 comma 3. Because we are going horizontally, my bad, I said I increases, but j will increase, right? And I remain same horizontally. Okay, this is 0 comma 0, this is 0 comma 1, this is 0 comma 2, and this is 0 comma 3. And similarly, I will become 1 here. This is 1 comma 0, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 2, 1 comma 3. So in similar way, we have the I and j for the last two as well, right? So what pattern we can see here is we print only the numbers of the triangles on this side. So do we have any condition here? So this is 0 comma 0. This is 1 comma 0. This is 2 comma 0. This is 3 comma 0. Right? And this is 3 comma 3. This is, what is this? 0 1 2. 2 comma 0 1 2. 2 comma 2, right? Yeah, 2 comma 2. Right? And this is 1 comma 2. Right? So what pattern we have seen here is for all these stars, one thing that we have seen is I is greater than or equal to j. Let's prove that again. So this is the last one, 0 1 2 3. This is 3 comma 3. This is, what is this, 1 2 3. 3 comma 1 2 3 3. 0 1 2 3. 0 1 2. Sorry, this is 2 comma 2. This is 1 comma 1, and this is 0 comma 0. So for all these conditions I and j are equal, right, for this particular diagonal, and whatever the stars are present to the left of the diagonal, they have the condition where I is greater than j, right? So if we see for this, this is 1 0 1 2, 2 comma 0, where 2 is I and j is 0. So let's try to print have this condition set and try to solve this. So what do we have the condition set? If I is, then we print system.out.println, else what do we do? We print a space, right? So try to print this now. Let's try it for 5 or 4. Um, okay, my bad. It should be system.out.print. So we do get the desired pattern that we want. Okay. So this was the first approach that we have. Now let's see this pattern again and try to find the second approach. Like this was the matrix with condition approach. Now let's see only the condition approach. So I is equals to 0 for this, right? Okay, let me print I and j for these values, right? Yeah. So I is equals to 0 for this, and we'll have to print only one star. when I is equals to 2, I is equal, sorry man, when I is equals to 1, we have to print 2 stars. And when I is equals to 2, we have to print 3. And when I is equals to 3, we have to print 4 stars. So we can have a condition for this, like we can have a for loop again here. Let me comment this so we don't print it again. So we can start our iteration from I is equals to 0, and when I is equals to 0 and j is equals to 0, we have to print 1, right? So we'll do something like this. When I is equals to, I is j is less than equals I, because when I is equals to 1, j is equals to 0, we have to print 2 stars. We have to print 1, and then j is equals to 1, so I is equals to 1, so we have to print another star. So we print something like this. If we try to run this for input 4, let's say, we get again the desired value, right? So let's move to the next question. So we have to print this pattern, right? So for input 5, they have given in, let me copy this, right? So if num is equals to 5, then we have to print 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 5 stars, then 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So we can solve this problem using the same approach that we have, right? In the first problem, we had discussed two solutions. The first one was for the matrix one. So first try to see what are the elements on this diagonal. So the element here is 4 comma 0. Here the element here is 1 comma 0, 1, 2, 3, 1 comma 3. The element here is 3 comma 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 2 comma 2, right? Not 3 comma. The element here is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 1 comma 3. So the common trait we see in all these diagonal I and j is I plus j is n minus 1, where n is 5. So it is 5 minus 1, which is 4. And the last element also here is 4 comma 0, right? 0 comma 4, not 4 comma 0. So we can solve this using this trait, like, and all, and the numbers to the left of this diagonal, what is the trait in those stars, right? In those I and j. So if we see here, it is, this is 0 comma 0. So all the numbers which are left to this diagonal now will have I plus jth value less than n minus 1, right? So if we see any of this, let's consider this star. So this is 0, 1, 2, 2 comma 1, which is less than 4. So that is the com that is the thing that we can do, is that where we can have a matrix condition and solve it in a similar fashion. Or what we can have is we can have some kind of conditions, right? How can we solve it using conditions? So for when I is equals to 0, we have to print n minus 1 stars. When I is equals to 1, we print it. We have to print n minus 1 minus I stars, right? What is n minus 1 minus I? N minus 1 is 4, minus I is 1, right? When I is equals to 2, we have to print 3 stars, which is 5 minus 1 minus 2, right? That is 5 minus 3. When I is equals to 3, right? We have to print 2 stars, and I is equals to 4, we have to print only 1 star, because n minus 1 is 4. um, N minus 1 is 4 minus 4 is 0, but we have started the iteration from 0, so we'll have to print 1 star, right? So this is how we'll approach this question, right? So let me copy this problem and let's try to solve the first one using the matrix one, the matrix solution that we have. So your I plus j, right, of the condition less than equals to num minus 1. If we try to print it, we get the desired output. So that was the first condition, the first approach that we discussed. For the second approach, what we have is we'll have to iterate till j till num minus I, right? So for the last one, num will be 4. Num is 4, right? For this question that we had this, num is 5. 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. So I'll print only 1 star. So yeah, 5 minus 4. So I'll print 0, only 1 star, right? J is, yep, it will print only one, no, it will print 2 stars. So it's better that we have num minus 1, where j is equals to 0, then num minus 0 is 5 minus 0. 5 minus 0 is 5. No, we are talking about the last iteration, right? So I is equals to 4. 5 minus 4 is 1. 0 less than 1, and we have to print only 1 star. Yep, so this will work. Let's try to run it. And we get the desired output. Let's try some another problem here. So this is the pattern that we are going to print now. So if we see here, we have to print stars first, and we have to print space first now, and then we have to print stars. Okay, so we'll have the logic for that in this question. We can approach this with the same two patterns approaches that we have discussed, not the patterns. Like we can have a matrix and a solution around that. So let's try to have the solution using the matrix first, and then we'll think about the only conditions, right? Only conditions approach. So what is the trait that we see in these? Like this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, comma 0. This is 0, comma 4. This is 3, comma, sorry, 1, comma 3. This is 2, comma 2. This is 3, comma 0, 1, 2, 3, 3. And this is 4, comma 0, right? And all the elements to the right of this have their I plus j value greater than num minus 1. So num is 4 here. So what is the sum of this? 4, comma 0. This is 3, comma 1. This is 2, comma 2. This is 1, comma 3, and this is uh, 0, 4. And all these elements have a trait that their I plus j is greater than num minus 1, which is 4 minus 1, something like that, yeah, or equal to. So we'll just change this problem here, and hopefully this change this particular condition and it would work. So let's try to print this. Yeah, so it does print the required result that we have. So let's try to solve it using the conditions only approach. So what condition can we see here? So while iterating over the numbers, we can see that first what we have to do is we have to print spaces, and we have to print 0, 2, 3. Let me have erase this and copy this, which is the same but it's more convenient. Yeah. So when I is equals to 0, we have to print 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces. When I is equals to 2, we have to print 1, 2, 2 spaces, and when I is equals to 1, we have to print when I is equals to 2, we have to print 1 space. So we'll have the approach written first for printing the spaces, right? So we print from num minus I minus 1, because we have to print one less, right? And we have to print space. Then after that, we have to print stars. And for the stars, how many stars do we have to print? We have to print the same stars that we had printed in the first problem, if you remember. So for I is equals to 0, we have to print 1. For I is equals to 1, we have to print 2. So we have this j is less than equals to I condition for that, and we print stars here. Yep. So let's try to run this. Hopefully we get the desired output. Yep. Yeah. For in the next video, we will continue with the remaining problems of the patterns. So see you guys in the next one. Bye.